Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis. Welcome. And in this video, I'm going to answer a request. A request was made. I had just recently done a Ubuntu minimal install, and I was asked to install KDE Plasma onto the Ubuntu server. So that's what I've done. So let's go over to my desktop and we'll get started here. All right. Your journey should start right here with Ubuntu.com, and this is the Noble release, which is 2404.1. And so I think they just came out with a different one actually. Server install image right here, click on that, and it'll want to download 2404.1. There's that. Now, if you're going to install Plasma, I'll go over some details here in a minute, but here's a great your desktop, Plasma KDE.org, Plasma-desktop. Make sure these links get in the description below. Here's the Planet KDE, where you get all kind of information in different languages and writing their respects and this, that, and the other on the KDE Plasma Desktop. Here's a list of KDE applications. The list here, just on the page alone, is quite extensive. Here's the KDE Wikipedia, which will tell you a whole lot about it. KDE was founded in 1996, for example. Okay, so if you're going to run the Ubuntu, this has nothing to do with KDE. If you're going to run the Ubuntu server and you want to make sure that your system is hardened down, very secure, here is a link. I'll include this link to everybody's friend DJ Ware. He just did a video recently here about how to harden your system and some of the steps that you can take. And on my channel here's the video I just did, and I was requested, I'm sorry, that's not it. Maybe that was it, Ubuntu Mini ISO. I was requested, I installed Xfce4 there, and it was requested that I could install KDE Plasma. One of the first things I found out, and here's those links, is that the KDE Plasma Desktop actually comes in 4 different, I don't know if versions is the right word, but different forms of the same desktop. And the first one will be Kubuntu. Let me bring up my VirtualBox. I thought the best thing to do, in this case, here I got the Ubuntu server LTS 24041. This is only the base. I installed the base, and I cloned it for these four different packages, desktops here. So let me just log in real quick. Let's see, I think I installed Screen Fetch. Not going to really tell you much. Packages on a minimum is 816. This is the 2404 Noble. Xfce, I think I installed that. This is also not going to tell us much. It says no display data found. So this is not even really a good place to test for that kind of stuff. So the first up would be the Kubuntu desktop, and I'll go ahead and get that started. While that's going there, I'll minimize, and this is how you would get the Kubuntu desktop. So it'd be sudo apt install Kubuntu desktop, Kubuntu-desktop. In my opinion, if you was going to go to Ubuntu and then install Kubuntu desktop on it, I would probably just go to their spin, the Kubuntu spin. Get this logged in. And what I've done is I've made a list. We're going to look at packages, snaps, audio, graphics, htop, and the size of the installation on disk. And I've got the other ones done, so this will be the only one that we have to do this. I just wanted to show you what we're going to do here. Control-Alt-T will get me a terminal. And I've installed Screen Fetch. So we got 2,106 packages. 2,106 packages. All right, next up, let's go snap list. And we've got on Kubuntu, you're going to have some snaps. You got Firefox, the GNOME GTK themes, and Snapd itself. So snaps, we got, I'm gonna count that as two snaps. Now let's go to the next one. -AG for audio and graphics. Now on graphics here, display is X11 with Xwayland support. So graphics here would be X11. Audio is Pipewire. All right, now let's see what on the size of the disk. The installation was 7.5. Now I did install those two programs, ScreenFetch and Inchy, 7.5 gigs. All right. Last thing, let's check out the system resources. 777.4. We'll say that's a cold boot. Megabytes of RAM. Okay, so let's close this out. Let's take a real quick look at their menu. Here you got development, got Kate, a text editor, some games, graphics, internet. The only browser is Firefox. Multimedia, the music player and a media player. In Office, we have Ocular and a full LibreOffice suite. Science and math, we got LibreOffice Math. Settings, change a lot of your settings there in your system info center. Let's bring that up real quick. Probably could have got everything I needed right here. Okay. Go back to here under utilities. BIM is installed by default. That'll make a lot of people happy. Instead of updating, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down and try to keep this really, really quick. A lot of information here to cover. In comparison, now I've already installed the KDE Plasma Desktop, which installed KDE-Plasma Desktop. And let me see. We might as well look at that. This is the KDE Plasma Desktop. But I've already got the stats here. 1,637 packages, 0 snaps. Audio is Pipewire. Graphics is X11 with Wayland support. Let me sign in here. All right. And it was 5.8 gigabytes on the size on disk, 692 megabytes of RAM. So let me stretch this out. Let's look at their menu. You can see it's a lot smaller than the other one. Under development, we do have Kate, settings, system settings. System now, we might have some info center, a KDE partition magic, manager, menu editor, utilities. A lot less software. This one had 1,637 packages. The first one we looked at, Kubuntu, had 2106. The next one to install would be just the KDE standard. One thing I will say, the single click to open stuff is not enabled by default. So the KDE standard, and the real only difference here will be in the menu. We'll go over that. 1,861 packages were installed. It's using Pipewire with X11 and Xwayland support. All right. Okay, under the menu, you've got a little bigger menu here. Development, still only one. Kate, here in graphics, we got Ocular and GwenView. Internet, we do have Falcon installed by default. That's nice. That's a web browser. It's very similar to Firefox. Multimedia, we have the Dragon player and Juke music player. Office, no LibreOffice, but it's available. Settings, System, htop. So go ahead and open that up since we were looking at it anyway. I had 749 megs when I run this. Now it's running 858 megs. So there's that. Under Utilities. So very much the same desktop, just with a different amount of software installed. All right, so then the last one here we'll cover real quick is the KDE full version. So that would be sudo apt install KDE full. And let's look at the size here. Packages 2,436. Yep, not even close. 300 packages more than the next runner-up. Now remember, I installed just the base system and then cloned them, and then I installed each one of this options. Let's just look at their menu. You would expect it has all of it. Everything available with KDE on Ubuntu is probably here. Even under development, we only had what, Kate? Now we have 7 or 8 different programs. Education, we got a bunch. Games, there's probably several. Yep. Graphics, more options again. Internet, we do have Falcon once again, or Falcon. Multimedia, we have 2 more players I recognize. Under Office, no LibreOffice. System and Utilities. Control-Alt-T will get me a terminal. Let's run a htop real quick while we're here. 732. When I did my check, it was 734. So pretty nice. Close this down. I'm going to go ahead and clone my base once again, and we're going to name this base only tasksel. Uh-oh. Tasksel. Say next. Finished. All right, so let's start this up. Again, this is only the base system, but I want to show you everything I just showed you how to do with the command line. You can also, there's a GUI that we can install to do the same thing. And I'm just going to show you that software. I've showed it before on a video converting LEMDE Linux Mint Debian Edition with the Xfce desktop on it. So if I just run tasksel, it's probably not going to be there, and it tells me though it can install it. So let's install it. Sudo apt update, and then sudo give it my password. Okay, everything's up to date now. Let's run sudo tasksel. Okay, so here you have the options to install the KDE Plasma Desktop right here. And I'm not sure which Plasma that version that's going to give you. You'll have to just try it yourself. I probably will do it, but I wanted to show this because you do have a lot of options. You can go ahead and install the SSH server if you didn't do that during your initial setup. All the desktops are here available. So I'm going to go ahead and just cancel out of that. It's just going to install. The screen will come up and install Xfce. I know we'll do that way. But I should go ahead and do that and just cut the video off here and do that later. And I think I will. So for now, I'm going to power off. And if I find anything very interesting about that before I post the video, I'll show you. Close out of my virtual box there. Now, one thing I noticed, and I'll go ahead and make this is important, with all 4 of these installations, the login manager or whatever you want to call it was installed and activated or enabled by default, the sddm service. So at first I was checking to make sure it was there or I needed to enable it or what, but as it turns out, they were all enabled and ready to go. So after I got through here, I just rebooted, and that's the system that I got. I did install these 3 programs on every one of those. So if you do that packages count, take 3 off. Okay, so here, real quick, GNOME Desktop has 4 versions as well. The Ubuntu GNOME Desktop, the Ubuntu Desktop Minimal, Vanilla GNOME Desktop, and the Task GNOME Desktop. Now, I'm not going to do the investigation for you there, but you can do your own looking around and see which one of those would fill your needs best. You have some meta packages under Xubuntu, Ubuntu GNOME Desktop, which is right there. You can install Ubuntu Desktop and Ubuntu Desktop. So, what just happened there? Undo whatever it was I just did. Uh-oh. Yep. So, like I said, this is my Ubuntu install. I installed it not very long ago on the 8th of October. Today is what, the 13th, I think. So, a few days here. Been working on it. Let's run an Xfce-agm so we'll know what machine this is installed on. Dell Precision 3620. It's using X11. And you'll notice there is no X-Wayland support listed here. Also under audio, we're using Pulse Audio and not Pipewire. And I didn't do anything to these settings. This is the way it is. Alright, so let me clear that one. Run the screen fetch. Ubuntu 2404 Noble. 2330 packages. Intel Core i7 with 64 gigs of RAM, Xfce desktop. Let's see, we just run the INSI. Oh, I was going to also do, you'll notice, if I run a snap list, it's not even installed. No snaps are installed yet. Try snap install, whatever the software you want to install. Nice. But I do use Flatpaks. Uh-oh. Oh, I gotta finish the command out, Flatpak list. So I got Kdenlive, Fedora Media Writer, some codecs that come in with other things. And I got this one program called KSnip. It's basically a screenshot utility. Pretty nice. So snaps are available, and you could use them if you choose to. I personally, I don't know why, or I can't understand in my own mind why I don't like snaps. What I don't like is somebody putting them on a system that I have no choice but to use. That's the part that I don't really like. I don't know about the details. Flatpaks just always work for me, so that's what I'm familiar with. And in my menu here under Internet, you'll not see Firefox or Chromium. You'll see Falcon, Falcon, which is what was using here to show my stuff or show you the web pages. I'll close out of this. No need them being open. Let's see. I've got everything. Let's run a htop on my system as OBS is running. 1.6, little over 1.5 gigabytes of RAM being used. And that's with all the other stuff that had went on, so it's got RAM and cache that it hadn't deleted yet. That's not bad. That's probably one of the best Ubuntu resources that I've seen. And that is why I decided to try Ubuntu the server. And so far, I got to tell you, I like it. It does everything I want it to do. There's been no problems really. One thing I will say, if you ever run an upgrade and you get some error that won't upgrade until 2 or 3 hours or some time thing, check your time down here. Make sure your time is right. Otherwise, it'll tell you it's too early and you have to wait. Well, if you see that message, check your clock first. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this video. I sure hope I kept it down time-wise. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out. Live long and prosper. Bye.